to be part of. Invite you to be a part of our first discussion. Our good friend, Mr. William Innes, will be our guest. Special things to tell you, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow.
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us as we have in the studio from Telecom Solutions, Mr. William Innes. Yeah, he wears many hats, but today, that's the hat of choice, right?
That's right, Telecom Solutions. Thanks, Sterling, for having me.
Always a pleasure, man. I always enjoy whether it's Rotary or whether it's something educational. But today it's business, you know, and business is what provides opportunities, right?
Precisely. Yeah.
All right. Now, I know you got some good things to share with the listeners, and as I look at what's before us, well, excited to hear from you.
Yeah, so I'm here today to talk about a new service that we're launching today, and it's a website that allows you, the listener, to order phones and have them delivered to your door in the same day. Aside from that, you can also do top up your phone, top up phones in Cuba and in any number of, I think, 24 locations that we have. And I want to guide you through how to use the website and encourage you to take a look and learn more about our products and services.
Convenient. I mean, sometimes we're traveling and someone's there, we can do it from here, or they're there, they can do it themselves.
Sometimes you may drop your phone and you really need a phone right away, and so we're added that level of service to our customers here.
So not even just here, but anywhere. If you of those 24 locations, if you need a phone delivered.
Oh, no, just in Cayman.
I know.
We're only focusing in the Cayman Islands right now, but we can service, top up to other countries as well.
That's pretty good idea, right? All right, so what's the website?
So the website is greenturtle.ky.
All right.
Yeah, so it's very local. I don't know if you can see it. I think we're being live streamed as well.
Let me check my engineer.
Or it may be soon.
We are live streamed, but let's see if the website is online. Mr. Engineer, what would DJ say? Selector.
They're busy. So it's greenturtle.ky. So take out your smartphones. If you're by your computer, why not take a look over on your browser, greenturtle.ky. And you'll see a lovely photo here of this green turtle that has a cell phone and is running. Green Turtle Express, we get there first. But basically, if you look at our homepage here, we have a featured collections of various phones. We have some of our dual SIM unlocked Logic phones, which are $79. You can get your waterproof, drop-proof Caterpillar phones. We have the two types. I think these are single SIM or dual SIM, but one works better with Digicel and one works better with Flow. So you have those options there, and that's we also have iPhones that are on sale. In fact, we just sold out. We have a shipment that's arriving this week, so we'll have those back in stock. But you can also place your order for those on there. Samsung Galaxy J1 Minis. These are dual SIM devices, expandable memory. So there's a number of things that we offer in that shop when it comes to phones. So I'd recommend that you check those out. They're very popular. I think we have several partners actually around Cayman that retail some of these phones. You'll find more of the higher end devices here, but some of the more readily accessible phones are available at different locations. One of them I'll name is Barcam Esso. What's the name of that street? It's the bypass there by Hurley's. Yeah, so Barcam Esso, it has a nice new display case full of stock. If you're passing by that way, I'd encourage you to stop in there and take a look. We have some really good salespeople on the road. Jason Watler is part of our team, and he goes into all the different locations around the island. I think we have around 180 partners that we have when it comes to top-up or handsets, SIM cards as well. Aside from the phones, you can also get SIM cards.
Wow. I mean, that's convenient. I know people with their cellular devices. Huh?
Yeah, it's great prices as well, as you can see. So definitely take a look at those. So you can get your phone, you can get your SIM card, you can top up that phone and SIM card all at the same time when you check out. We accept cash on delivery as well, if you would rather pay by cash when we deliver it to you, or you can use your credit card. We partner with Cayman Gateway, so all the transactions for processing are done here in the Cayman Islands. It doesn't leave the country, which is fantastic. And I'm also pleased to announce a very special promo code, a coupon that you can use at checkout from today, I think, until the end of this month. We might extend it if we can partner with Radio Cayman, but if you use the promo code Radio Cayman at checkout, you get free delivery on island today on orders $10 and up. So definitely take an opportunity now. If you're looking for a phone, you want to have it delivered today, use this website, go right ahead and do it. Cash on delivery or using your card.
So you can pay online if you choose, or cash on delivery.
Correct.
Now, some people have their cards and the little terminals that the banks provide. Is that a service as well, or just either cash or payment online?
It would be payment online. It's the most convenient way, I think, because that way you don't need to hand your card to someone else and all that. And cash on delivery works as well. And same day. Obviously, if you order at, I think, $4.59, that might be a bit difficult. We'll definitely do the next day. But we'll aim for same-day delivery and 100% satisfaction guaranteed. What else do I have to talk about? So that's the phone side of things. And, Bark MSO, definitely check out that display. And if we have listeners, we must have listeners in Cayman Brac.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. I'll be over there next week.
Some of the best listeners.
Yeah. But definitely check out Marketplace. They have also a display case with phones and other accessories as well. Other things like speaker systems and so on. You'll have those available to you. I think on our website, if I just click here under the catalog at the top of the page, greenturtle.ky, the catalog will give us some examples. I think there's around 11 results at the moment currently. We're building out this store further. If you want your iPhone X, you can get that on order. They're all on sale, better prices than anywhere else you can get retail. We have 7-inch tablets as well, dual SIM, unlocked. Everything here is unlocked. You can use it on any carrier. You can also get your prepaid SIM cards here as well. So, and if you want to try a selfie stick, go ahead and place an order for selfie stick. It's free delivery today if you use promo code Radio Cayman.
Well, to our listeners, that's another way that we try to partner with our partners to partner with the people.
Exactly. I think more along the lines of a wider conversation, is about online commerce. And the question is, why is it not really a big thing in Cayman? It is in many other places, and in fact, it's a big thing in Cayman for people to order on Amazon and have it delivered to them, but there's no real stores here online aside from EK Trade or whatever. So we wanted to be one of the first and probably the premier location for you to get something online and delivered to your door when it comes to electronics. If you see a product that you want and you don't see it, I think there's a contact us portion on the website. Let us know. We'll get it in. We'll look after you. So that's about this portion of the website, which is, devices, SIM cards for any carrier. Go right ahead and take a look.
I was thinking about what you just said. If you see a product, I was looking at a sailboat earlier. It's just she's only 42 feet, but maybe.
We're not looking to compete with some of those other businesses.
I'm just teasing.
We're just in telecom.
If you want telecom solutions, William in this, right? Green Turtle Express on greenturtle.ky?
It's greenturtle.ky. Greenturtle.ky.
Get on board the Express, man.
Yeah, we'll get it to you as fast as we can. Aside from that, we also have our Facebook page, and our Facebook page is Telecom Solutions. Just look it up if you use Facebook. And, it's a good page to like and to follow, because whenever we get information from the carriers about like a promotion, we usually put it up there and let people know in advance or when it's happening. I don't know if this was the picture of the display case for Barcam. That's on our Facebook as well. You can definitely check that out. And we have, Cubicel. Cubicel, they've informed us that they're going to be doing a promotion. So if you have any loved ones or friends or girlfriends or boyfriend, whatever you want, you can top them up And it's the promotion for 6 days from July 23rd to July 28th. And that information is going to be up there on our website, and you can use our same greenturtle.ky to top them up. So if you're still on your web page, listeners, you can go to greenturtle.ky, and at the top there's a button that you can click on that says Top Up. We'll be launching a slightly refreshed view here on how to get to that easily, but as you can see, you can just click on to select your country, and there's a drop-down box. You have places like Barbados, British Virgin Islands, Chile, Costa Rica, Cuba, Guatemala, India, Jamaica, Philippines, South Africa. We look at the customers that we have, people who live here in the Cayman Islands, and where might they want to send some top-up to loved ones for a gift or for Christmas or whatever. And those are the places that we do top-up currently. And we have, obviously, partners nearest to you all around the place, all around the island, Grand Cayman, including Cayman Brac, where you can send those funds using our partners there.
And as we're speaking to William Innes, to our listeners, as you know, we're streaming live on YouTube, so you just go there, look for Radio Cayman Live, and then just subscribe. Right now, we can see through that access what William is talking about as he goes through the web page and shows us. And you can see that there as well. So.
Yeah, that's great that you can stream it and see what we're doing here on this website, but it's more important that you use your own phone, use your own computer, your own web, your own browser to check these things out. It's a really cool site, and I think it may provide you some good services in the near future.
As you're listening, I can see the convenience not only of the executive or of the young person, but that elderly person sometimes need these things, and maybe because of lack of access to transport then and there, this could be a convenient tool.
Precisely.
And many of them are very, very techno savvy. So those grandmothers, they're awesome. Man. They know their way around the internet and the social sites.
I'm surprised you said that, because I had to show you how to use this website.
You see your friends tell you secrets, man. I said grandmothers, not.
Yeah, but aside from that, if you're scared of the web, it's totally fine. You can call us at 623-1485, and our information would be on the website as well. 623-1485. Learn more if you want to say, where am I? I'm by Funky Tangs. Where can I top up? Asian retail. You can top up to Cuba, to Philippines, wherever you want to top up. Even Cayman.
And well, that's the thing.
Any carrier as well. That's important to know. We deal with all carriers.
And we see I call them the kiosks. We see your devices in many of the locations, and we see people going in there. Sometimes even when the business is closed, there's access from outside. People stand up and they're punching in their thing and they're putting in their money and they're getting their. And it works then and there. Yeah,
it's this is a unique thing for Cayman. There's not many places in the Caribbean, certainly, that have these services. There are a few. I've noticed a few in Jamaica and a couple in Barbados, but it's not as prevalent as Cayman.
All right.
So it's a great service, I think, as well.
Well, when we come back from our break, we continue talking with Mr. William Innes from Telecom Solutions. If you get a chance, you can go to our YouTube site and watch us there, and then, of course, greenturtle.ky. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
From happy beginnings to happy ever after,
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
95% of claims settled in 5 days.
Low-cost life insurance.
And investments.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
For happy beginnings and a happy ever after,
visit BritK.ky or call 949-8699.
Brit K, where people come first.
Did you know that littering and illegal dumping can contribute to pollution, unsightliness, blocked drains, and harborage of rodents and pests? By taking responsibility for your surroundings, you can have clean communities, safe water, and healthy lives. Let's all play our part to keep Cayman clean. Don't litter. If you need more information on making Cayman litter-free, please visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today. Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. And thanks for joining us as we have the good company not only to speak with Mr. William Innes from Telecom Solutions and direct people to Untitled.ky website. But as you were sharing, we have a very advancing society, a very technical society, and they've embraced technology. And as we start to maybe demand more of that, you're being, as you said, one of the sort of the pioneers, as it were, in e-commerce here.
Innovation is important, and when we look, we have the benefit of looking at other countries and where they go in 5 to 10 years. So those are the opportunities that we can bring to this country and to others in the Caribbean. But e-commerce definitely is something that is severely lacking, I think, to several degrees, and we need to bring that up. And I think this is one of the services, greenturtle.ky. When it comes to technology, you can use to top up people, loved ones. This is all prepaid. Who knows? We might get into other areas as well, but certainly get your phones delivered today using promo code Radio Cayman, and we can talk more about this particular thing, e-commerce, and how it changes our lives really when it comes to the convenience factor.
I think, and I was wondering to what extent our society is not only sort of distrustful, that may not be the best word to use, of the technology and the gateways and the level of safety and security and because it's bombarded with so much with internationally. Mm-hmm. The concerns, it's not the lack of access to it. Most of us seem to have some means to get online and utilize it. We walk around with phones constantly.
Yeah, it's interesting to use the word distrust. It's I think that there is some level of that, in the Caribbean, certainly where I'm from. I would suggest though that you give this one a shot. Try greenturtle.ky, and you'll see a smiling face of Raymond Rodriguez, one of my team members. You'll see Jason. He'll pop up in there wherever you are and talk your ear off and try to sell you something. But he's great guys. Joseph, we have an amazing team at Telecom, and I'm really pleased to work with everybody there, all those guys.
But I see the level of safety and security you build into the site, and after the HTTP, that S.
Yeah, that's right. It says secure.
Secure. So that in itself implies a level of confidence that we can have that what's transacted on the website is intended to be a secure lock on the information.
Correct. And I don't know if you are on your website now, greenturtle.ky, but if you click on catalog, and we can just go through a quick demonstration. You see Caterpillar Cat S30. It's a dual SIM phone. You can click on that. It provides you more details about it, what the price is. You can then choose an option if you want it to work with Digicel or Flow. We just choose a carrier, and it tells you how many I have in stock. You can add one to your basket. Right, It's very similar to if you've ever used any sort of e-commerce website. You can then click on your basket and check out, or view your cart, and you can put in your promo code, your coupon code, which is Radio Cayman, to get the free shipping today, and just fill in your details and your credit card information, or if there is any mistrust, we have some fantastic partners here, very secure, but you have the option for cash on delivery as well. You don't have that option anywhere else. Yeah. So we will deliver the product to you today, and you can place your order now.
Wow. And this is, relatively speaking, not just a convenient, but when you think of the country and the way our lifestyles are, sometimes some people, we have a lot of things being delivered to us, and yet we're not always getting into the purchase of goods in this means. Standing in line is great, talking to the guy next to you, but maybe you need to be somewhere. Someone brings it for you.
Yeah, we have many busy people here on island. I ask you, how are things with you? And you say, man, I'm busy working. And, so we understand that. And our customers are demanding more of us when it comes to these things. So providing a service like this where you dropped your phone, you know it's not worth fixing it. It's due for an upgrade anyway. Take a look at the website. Try one of our devices. Try our service. Give us our feedback. Happy to invite anybody to call in or call us at 623-1485, and we will make sure that you're satisfied.
So for now, anything sort of, phones or phones related, whether it's a top-up, you're offering that sort of exclusive approach to this level of technology?
One-stop shop for top-up, one-stop shop for phones, everything you need, one place.
Yeah. I noticed with the number of your phones, the offerings are dual SIM. So if someone needed or wanted for whatever reason to have two of the primary carriers right now, they can put in.
Some people have, their postpaid account. They can put one of those SIMs in there and use that as their primary. And you may want to have a secondary prepaid SIM from one of the other carriers in case anything was to happen. We're entering hurricane season. Mm-hmm. We've had several scares. A lot of friends of mine in other countries in our district. I'm going to say district in the Northern Caribbean. So yeah, that's the other hat. They've been affected significantly by hurricanes. So it is a good option to have a device that allows you to have both SIMs, both networks available to you. And don't forget to top up that other SIM.
Keep on both. I mean, the level of redundancy adds to your peace of mind, as it were. But many of our people travel throughout the region, and sometimes, for whatever reason, there may be access issues there as well.
That's a good point. I would encourage you to roam with your SIM card with whatever carrier you're using, but sometimes that's not always available to you. So that gives you the freedom with all your contacts and everything, your same camera and everything that you use to be able to pop in another SIM when you're traveling and use it as well.
Yeah.
So those are all available to you, and the tech savvy people would know when they look at the details on those devices. Some are state of the art, iPhone X, and you have others that can do the basics. You get your WhatsApp and whatever you care about is there. But I would encourage the devices. Great little e-commerce store for you to try out, and it's going to be growing.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's when you look at the evolving marketplace, the demands of our consumers. We're seeing, suppliers like you providing that service, that product, so that they can have the convenience, but also then they're also savvy when they're comparing the products. They know that whether it's online here, hosted website, or whether it's somewhere else, they understand what the costs are. Mm-hmm. They're willing to invest heavily. You're offering delivery, it's right around the corner.
Yep. We're already around the islands every day anyway, so might as well, throw in some other deliveries and leverage our network that we have.
Yeah, man.
And we have the stock. We supply.
Yeah.
So why not get from us?
Well,
greenturtle.ky.
For those who are like me, call. You got a phone number in the office as well if they want. But use the website. You can get at your leisure, whether it's right now or whether it's later on this evening. You can go online and
at any time, or just bookmark it. Save it in your browser, so when you have a need for top up someone, try out our service. If you have a need to purchase a phone, even as a gift, there'd be great stuff that we're going to be promoting on that site, as well as our Facebook page. We also have an Instagram. I don't know if you're on Instagram. I'm not that old, but I struggle with it too.
Susan's on all the time.
But you can check out those things and see what promotions we have, like this QSL promotion that's coming up in July. And I would encourage you to use that site and top up your loved ones.
Exactly, man. I mean, last time I bookmarked, with my tablet, every time I open it back up, the bookmark would fall out. I thought, it's not working.
I get the joke. It's a bad joke, but it's good.
At least it was an attempt, man. It made Susan laugh. I mean, that was a start for the day. Yeah. No, but this is why I look at our society, and honestly, the amount of people who not only have devices but are fairly comfortable. Some are very, very competent with it. But the level of penetration, as they say, with our people, the populace has really been good to take up the technology and to use it.
Yeah. things have improved in Cayman significantly since I first moved here in 2011. Like the internet speeds, reliability, there's always room for improvement, but it's definitely better than where we were a few years ago. The
consumer is definitely savvy and is requiring more and more. And I think as we get there, it's going to make not just the cost, but the convenience now. Whether it's Green Turtle KY, I think, Will, you're onto something here, man.
Thank you very much. greenturtle.ky, and I would encourage you to avail yourself of using the promo code Radio Cayman. It gives you free delivery in Grand Cayman on orders of over $10. That expires at the end of this month. All
right, perfect, man. Again, another way that listeners can benefit, and as our business partners come on, recognizing that this is a very dynamic marketplace, fluid in many instances, but the consumer is savvy, and the businesses are very competitive. But then again, we trade in a global world. Now, 24 countries or so you said that you're offering across. You listed some. Many of them are places that Cayman Airways flies to. Many of our people hail from originally, travel frequently for business and or just sort of get away to relax. Sometimes you forget things.
If there's anything any country that you want to top up and it's not listed, let me know and I can also sort it out. Just drop us a line. We want to ensure that everybody has the ability to top up. In this world, we're so connected, and telecommunications is so important to us all. So you can even top up a prepaid card in the States, for example, if you wanted to. If you have a son or daughter in college and you want to keep them on a budget, this is an easy way to do that.
Yeah, very convenient. They don't have to worry about hunting around in the stores. You can manage their account there. For people like me who just want to know, when we do the transactions online, .ky, so it's a Cayman-based website. Prices and sort of value all in the Cayman dollar.
Yeah. Okay. Everything's in Cayman dollars. Oh. And we have our Cayman Gateway is the partner that we use to process the transactions. A lot of sites, will use something out of the U.S. or the U.K., some sort of PayPal-related something. Everything we're doing is here with the local banks and using the Cayman Gateway.
Yeah, perfect, man. You know that price is the price. You don't have to worry about, even though it's a relatively fixed conversion, sometimes, you may get, so what you see is more likely the currency that you're used to.
Yeah, precisely. And, if you're not into the e-commerce thing yet, I would encourage you to learn it today, greenturtle.ky. But like I mentioned to you, we have other partners. Just yesterday launched at Barcam this nice new tower of devices that you can purchase there. There are even some speakers, some Bluetooth speakers and other things. Pretty cool. I would encourage you to check that out. Also, if you're in Cayman Brack Marketplace, also carries our products as well.
All right. Well, we've seen it increasingly, and the convenience, the significant cost savings. Sometimes people are willing to do it, man. Really looking forward to having you share more of your, growing opportunities with the Cayman Marketplace.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to coming back soon.
All right, Mr. William in this Telecom Solutions, greenturtle.ky. Hey, go online, is it YouTube, Miss Susan? Look for Radio Cayman streaming live. Like us, subscribe. Yeah, do all those things. Let's see what we get today, and then more and more people get involved. All right, we're going to pause, take a break. When we come back, probably be some open line. 1 p.m. Pastor Randy will join us, give us a history of the Baptist Church. Always like to learn things, Here's a chance for me to be a student once again. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
The Advance Automotive Chevrolet 30-day countdown is on. For the month of July, save big with once-in-a-year pricing on all remaining 2018 Chevrolet models. Advance Automotive is making room for 2019 models with unbeatable pricing on remaining 2018 models. We are in the last 12 days. Come and see the 2018 Tahoe, rated most dependable large SUV by J.D. Power, and now available with $3,000 cash back. 30-day countdown from Advance Automotive. Visit the showroom on Owen Roberts Drive or visit advancechevrolet.com today.
Do you have a customer shutoff valve installed downstream of your water meter? If not, please contact the Water Authority to discuss having one installed. The customer shutoff valve enables you to turn off the water between the meter and your property. In the event of a storm, turning off the customer shutoff valve can prevent unexpectedly high water bills and property damage should a leak occur in your property's plumbing. This hurricane preparedness tip is brought to you by Water Authority Cayman, suppliers of the world's most popular drink.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All-Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Nursing, education, social work, media studies, hospitality, electrical, plumbing, AC. Wow, I didn't even know that the University College of the Cayman Islands offered all that.
Yes, all that and more, as well as event management and QuickBooks. They also did customized training for our staff last month. Hey, didn't your son just graduate from high school? Take him so he can apply for the fall semester.
Pursue your academic and professional goals at UCCI. Admissions are ongoing. Classes start August 27th. Visit them or call 623-8224 to learn more.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. A special thanks to Mr. William Innes from Telecom Solutions and share with us the latest offering on their website, greenturtle.ky. Yeah, I like green turtles. I know many of us do. And as he says, when you go on there and you hop on the Green Turtle Express, good marketing, but also good ways to continue to tie us into our culture. Well, we know that when this comes to our phones and access and our mobility, many of us, when we're leaving home, perhaps the first thing that we check for is our phone, probably before we get dressed properly. Many of us have had family and friends and even ourselves get to where we're going and realize that if for some reason we left our phone, we go back home. So 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Let's get a couple of minutes from you. Share your thoughts with us on whatever issue that you believe needs to be aired. Looking forward to your sentiments. 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Just a quick reminder before we go to the phones. 1 o'clock after the news, Pastor Randy will be joining us. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Can you hear me?
I can now, yes. Yes, thank you so much for sharing with us. Good afternoon to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear us?
Just barely. Hi,
Oh.
how are you?
Okay, well, let's see what we can do about that. Not quite sure what. But anyway.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon, Sterling.
Good afternoon, Mom.
Yeah, just a quick concern. Not that I'm complaining. We were talking about the police officers driving around with all their windows up, and if they had to save some other lives, they wouldn't hear us.
Right.
So I see the cars are driving with these lights on now. I need to know what the purpose of those lights that they're driving around all day with the green and red on, and that's still green, and then their windows are up. So, who are they saving? I can leave it with that, and I'm going to call you back, okay?
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with us. We also have another call online as we get ready to head to our phones. We invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. 949-8037. Hey, good afternoon and welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Am I on now?
Yes, you are. Thank you for sharing with us.
Yes, good afternoon. I just have a little concern.
Mm-hmm.
My friends called yesterday to say that there was some announcement put out regarding this high blood pressure medication, valsartan, that it has been withdrawn or whatever the word is. But anyway, it's supposed to have been taken off the shelf, like that's what I'm saying. But that's my medication for high blood pressure. But because what I'm saying, I'm just thinking that if it's so important, I thought that perhaps the health services would have, put forward an announcement that would catch all of us, not just having it piece by piece. So I don't know if this is true or if it's false or if it's real, So I was just wondering if there's anyone that can really come forward from the health services to say that we must discontinue or this valsartan, you know.
Right. But two things immediately, as you shared, you know, perhaps those of us who have, whether ourselves or friends and family who want it, maybe you can reach out. We'll try to do the same as well. Reach out to the health services and ask that. Do you know, the second thing, your friend, where this information came from? Was it in the local news, international news? Was it somewhere online somewhere?
Yeah, it was somewhere on, I guess, some international newscast had it, perhaps on Facebook. I'm not sure where it came from.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
I Googled it, and it did say that there was some discussion about some having been made in China. There was some thing in it that may cause cancer, and, you know, so
well,
I'm not sure what to do. I've been on that for years.
Can you tell me just make sure I get it correctly. Give me the name and the spelling of that particular.
I'll give it to you. Just give me 1 moment.
Yes, please. And then what we'll do, during the break, I'll reach out to the HSA just to share that a listener has this query, see if we can get some, you know, proper clarification. It could be, unfortunately, in this era, a lot of, you know, untruths being shared in the media irresponsibly.
There's nothing coming in from our health services, you know, to people who are on this. I'll give you the spelling.
Yes, please.
It's VAL.
VAL.
SARTAN.
So VALSARTAN.
Valsartan. It's a blood pressure medication.
Okay.
High blood pressure medication.
No, fair enough. It regulates your blood pressure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I know the others will do the same, and I will confirm with HSA if this is any truth to it, but invite you with great respect to pick up the phone and call the pharmacy directly, or call the, you know, Georgetown Hospital on their main line. You know, speak to someone.
I do. Thank you. Thank you very much.
No, thank you too. And that's, you know, the concerns of many of us see. We see that oftentimes with products through the retailers, the supermarkets and like, if there's a recall that's been affected, they bring it to the public's attention. The media brings that, you know, information to the public. I can share, I think, that we should have a high degree of confidence in our health services when it comes to medication, not only, you know, pending expiry dates, but also whether there's an issue with the medication. And some may find this to be a bit offensive, but you go online, not everything you read is there. You know, it's unfortunately a lot of things, for whatever the motivations, aren't always legit. You know, some of it gets circulated, and it was something that happened way back when, but no longer applies now. Not saying that that's the case in this instance. I respectfully, you know, share that our caller's concern is one that we should never, you know, ignore. And by sharing that with us, well, we can get information confirmed and clarified, and certainly be very, very helpful to us. Hey, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Or you can send us your thoughts on our email, talktoday@candw.ky. Or you can share your thoughts on our WhatsApp, 925-3261. Either way, as you share with us, or we can listen, learn, and comment, and then, you know, by extension, have the wider public do the same. I'm looking at a few thoughts here that are shared with us from our listeners. As you've heard this morning, as you listen to For the Record with Mr. Hart, conversations on a number of things, including the issue of, you know, legalizing ganja, as it were. Now, there are those of you who shared, sorry, those of you who shared that, you know, they don't believe that having people, you know, walk about the streets smoking ganja, stand in their backyards or other places should be something that we should encourage. One individual said something that seemed to have been almost repeated by a few others who likewise share the same view. We've passed legislation and taken measures to try to, you know, discourage people from smoking cigarettes and other tobacco products. We've banned it completely from, you know, all indoor spaces, including bars and restaurants and the like. We've put restrictions on how it can be sold and used and warning signs as per legislation. So why would we want now, in a few of these individuals' comments, perhaps take a step backwards to now allowing something that could, when used and overused or abused and otherwise, create not just a health hazard, but an impairment to the person using it. Now, one individual said, our view was that the medicinal properties of the oil should be openly encouraged. We've made strides to being able, through prescription, to get it for those who need it and potentially could benefit. But to allow its use or abuse or overuse, as she termed it, you only have to look, she said, to a number of other places just in the U.S. alone that have legalized, personal consumption. What has happened with the work rate, the behavior, the uptake amongst the student population? Is this something that we want to copy? She said that unfortunately it seems that sometimes our response to things is that because it would be easier to not enforce something, we'll make it legal. Her view, we've turned a significant blind eye to its consumption in so many ways in recent times that it's almost as if it is legal. She shared that it seems that if you drive certain places, ride, walk, exercise, it doesn't take much to, in her view, then determine the distinctive smell. But yet, nobody seems to do anything. Doesn't make it right. But then, is the present system best? Well, who knows? Appreciate that sentiment. And as we go to our news break, would like you to join us when we come back. We have the good company of Pastor Randy Van Connell sharing with us. He authored another book, an opportunity for us to hear about the history of the Baptist Church. I think, as many of us know, immense love and respect for Pastor Randy, not just his wit and intellect, but his sincerity, his incredible integrity. And sometimes, not just for our own sort of academic pursuit, but to be able to have something authored that we as a people can benefit from. It's great stuff, and I want you to be a part of that discussion. You can ask questions, you can get informed. As oftentimes, as we look at some things, we see so many times that we go through history and people don't always get a chance to see the sort of comments on the periphery. How many of us can think back to things that have transpired in our own history where we were very young then, whether it was a passing hurricane or a significant piece of legislation? We look at the accomplishments in a sort of a political advancement. Some of us were there, some of us had parents or grandparents who were there, and we've heard those stories. Have we been able to record them? Well, just a minute before 1, we'll pause, we'll take our break. When we come back, we'll ask you to join us.
We are Radio Cayman, and this is how we wake you up in the morning. Praise time. Praise time on Radio Cayman.
Open the eyes of my heart, Lord. Open the eyes of my heart. I'm gonna walk them golden stairs, 'cause I know my Jesus answers all my prayers.
Praise time.
Evenings from 6 until 6:30.
Praise time.
There's nothing to go back to. Give me Jesus in the morning. For the God of the mountain is still God in the valley.
Shout with joy to God, all the earth sing glory to His name.
Praise time. Praise time.
Jesus in the morning, yeah.
Weekday mornings from 6 until 6:30.
Follow Radio Cayman on Twitter. All the latest information, breaking news, community events, and more. Follow us at twitter.com/Radio Cayman.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
Police are trying to find out who shot a dog in West Bay. They say they received a report. The dog had been found in the yard of a garage on Powell Smith Road on Tuesday afternoon. The owner had discovered the dog's body near a tree in the yard, dead of what appeared to be a gunshot wound. Police are investigating the incident and ask that anyone who may have heard a gunshot in the area or may have any other information to contact the West Bay CID at 949-3999. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines. In news elsewhere, the 12 boys rescued from a flooded cave in northern Thailand last week have spoken publicly of their ordeal for the first time, describing the moment of miracle when divers found them. Adol Saman, 14, the only member of the group who speaks English, told reporters he could only say hello when the British divers surfaced. The boys were trapped in the Tham Luang caves for more than 2 weeks. A Russian warship that sank 113 years ago has been found off the coast of a South Korean island, salvagers say. The Chanel Group say they found the Dmitry Donskoy east of South Korea. Companies have claimed in the past to have found the wreck amid historic rumors of treasure on board. The cruiser was scuttled by her crew in 1905 after Japan's victory in the Battle of Tsushima, a key moment of the Russo-Japanese War. And Destiny's Child singer Michelle Williams says she has sought help for the good of her mental health. The 37-year-old has previously spoken about being depressed and suicidal. In an Instagram post, Michelle said that as a mental health awareness advocate, she listened to the same advice she's given to others. She's had messages of support from artists including original Destiny's Child member Latavia Robertson and Missy Elliott. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
The time is now. The speed is here. March to the beat of the mobile revolution with Flow 4G LTE and a prepaid mobile combo plan. Activate a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan to get calling minutes and data in one convenient package. And every plan comes with double data. Enjoy the proven best overall experience in Cayman with a Flow prepaid mobile combo plan. Now with double data, coverage, value, speed. Flow 4G LTE. Always connected, always faster. Visit discoverflow.ky. Terms and conditions apply.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today. Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you so much for joining us. And I honestly enjoy having the opportunity to sit here. I get to laugh and to learn. I get to love and feel blessed, and especially I get a chance now to speak to people that I believe are truly wonderful in many ways, Pastor Randy Wanakala. Sir, thank you so much for your company this afternoon. And as we get a chance to chat with you only briefly, maybe our public will be not only inspired and encouraged, not only informed, but motivated and to be appreciative of who we are as a people and, the story generally, but in context. Our Baptist story, you see, from England to the Cayman Islands. Well, new publication.
Thank you, Dwayne, for having me, for giving me this opportunity.
Well, it is genuine, a distinct honor. And I think when you think of Cayman in particular, I think many people immediately should reference or seafaring or maritime heritage. But I don't think that many people really appreciate that this is strong religious Christian heritage that is tied in from the first settlers to that family that is about to christen their newborn.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we've had a strong faith community here from the early days. When I say early days, in the 1800s, mid-1800s, the first missionary arrived here in Grand Cayman, a Presbyterian missionary. The Umsley Church would come from that. The Baptists would come about 30 years later in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, but a strong group.
What, if I may ask respectfully, what was the impetus to write this particular book? I mean, our Baptist story.
Well, Dwayne, here in Grand Cayman, Baptists are relatively new. The Neelys, Herbert and Jackie Neely, arrived as missionaries, Baptist missionaries, in 1977, having been invited by a group of Brac Baptists who were living here in Grand Cayman to have a church here, because there had been a church, several churches in Cayman Brac since the 1880s, but relatively young group still, 1977 to the present. But so many are in our churches here, our Baptist churches, that do not know of our heritage and history as Baptist. And another name for Baptist, if I might use it this way, is we are part of the Free Church or Believers Church movement in Christian history. So I'm not, when I'm trying to talk about Baptist, I'm really not so much trying to talk about a denomination, because there are many denominations of Baptists. But I'm using Baptists in the larger sense of a movement of people who would come out of the Reformation time, as they were called early radicals. They were then given this derisively so a name, the Anabaptist. But Baptists who were called by that name first emerged in 1609 in England, having been heavily influenced by the Anabaptists of Holland. So, but many of our Baptists today aren't aware of where we came from, what it means to be a Baptist today. And it's for those two reasons that I've written for our particular Baptist churches here. What is our history, and what does that mean in our contemporary setting?
And that's the thing, we often hear Saturdays probably becomes a cliche. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. But if you don't know your history, you don't know where you're coming from, how do you know where you are now? And for those of us who are either, originally hailing from the Brac, or we have family and friends or a close connection, the fact that on the Brac, Cayman Brac and the Baptist Church is almost one and the same. But yet, maybe a century or more later, before we see the presence on Grand Cayman. I'm not that old, but I can remember when the Neelys came here.
That's right.
I remember, their son Herbert being in school with us.
I was here too then. I'm the old guy.
Hey, well, you look young. But relatively speaking, not that long ago, and yet we don't know as a people, So, and if I may share with you, and this is the beauty of radio, especially Radio Cayman. Special hello to your guest. He is from my home state of Mississippi and still has the accent.
Yeah.
And this lady, I love her, man. She's an amazing lady. But Pastor Ronnie, you are as much a part of this community as any of us. Your incredible love and respect, your integrity in particular. I believe many of us seek you for counsel, spiritual or otherwise. And now this book gives us a chance to, if just for historical reference or because it is the faith in which we are called, to be able to appreciate it. Take us through it to some extent.
Well, again, I've written the book primarily to the members of our Baptist churches, but the larger community I would hope would read as well, because to be a Baptist is to be a defender of all other groups. I'm not writing this to say we're right and everybody else is wrong. Quite the opposite. I want our Baptists to know who we are. And one of the key characteristics of a true Baptist is we love religious liberty, and we defend the right of others who differ from us, and how that is needed in the world today, I'm telling you. And I want our people to recapture today, as well as all persons here in Cayman, the respect of persons, the love of freedom, and that in the midst of that we would treat one another as we should. So it's been a great joy to write it. It's been a long journey, 5 years. It took me a while because that's not my full-time job. I'm having to serve as a pastor. But in those years, long hours, off office time, on vacation time, I did the research because I learned some things even about our Baptist heritage. But I break the book into 5 sections, and the 4 first sections relate to the movement, the free church movement that brought us to where we are here today in Cayman. So I trace the beginnings from England over to the U.S. colonies and through the development in the U.S. down to Jamaica, because that's how it flowed, with a missionary to Jamaica who would start Baptist work there, and ultimately to the Jamaican witness here in Cayman Brac that brought us to where we are now.
I think that shows us that history, we need to appreciate it, whether we look at it from the economics, with the political, but then the religious freedoms that we've enjoyed. In Cayman, we may not appreciate the persecutions, we may not understand, and I like the word you use, radical. I was looked at. Through you, I think we start to appreciate what the Scripture talks about. Life and death is in the tongue. A word is important, and sometimes we say things we don't appreciate it. A radical today is probably looked at unfortunately, in a negative connotation. But it doesn't have to be. It isn't in its root.
No. The word radical comes from the word root. And actually they were called radicals because in the time of the Reformation, you had the forces, the Roman Catholic Church, you had the Protestant reformers. In the midst of that, there was a small group in Switzerland that said, we've not gone far enough. We want to get back to the roots. We want to get back to the New Testament witness. And it was out of that radical return to the New Testament Christianity, or at least a desire to do that this group emerged, though most of them were killed. It's a dark chapter. The Anabaptists were horribly treated. There were certainly fringe groups of that group that were strange and different, but when you have freedom, you're going to have diversity. But out of that radical movement, the free church movement, or the believers' church movement, was given birth. And today, many of our groups who aren't called Baptists, but who practice believers' baptism, who believe in religious liberty, as most groups do, we are still a part of that Baptist movement. Maybe I should use a little B there, but we're a part of that movement of free church believers.
And then, Pastor Randy, from that perspective, when we look at, for those of us, I enjoy reading. I think it's probably one of the best things you can do, and one of the most fundamental things that a society needs to ensure, that is, people can read and read independently. For those who look at this, obviously the scholar, obviously the Christian, but then the historian, or people who just want general knowledge. There are dates and times, there are facts, there are figures in a sense, and there are a lot of information. As we go through it, we get it broken down and presented in a chronological order.
We do. I've noted in the intro that this is a summary history. To cover 400 years, it would take several volumes to get into detail. And the part on the history, particularly of our islands, is in that section 4. So I'm giving a summary, so I don't get so detailed, but I do tell a lot of stories. And I've written it in a way for just anyone to read it, not just for the scholar. In fact, I make the disclaimer that it's really not given as an academic text, though it could be used in a beginning reference on Baptist history. But I've written it to the everyday person to read it, hear the stories, be inspired by it, whatever church you're part of. Because today, the world, we all value, or at least we should, we should value religious liberty and freedom, personal faith, the authority of God's Word. These are all distinctives that I list that mark that emerging movement of believers. So we'd all benefit today, so I wanted to write it so that all persons would have some good from it.
That's when I initially had a cursory glance at it. That's what struck me. Not just the stories. I know you shared some. Maybe we can tease a few out of you as well. But the idea that if you're reading for your own edification, if you're reading to be positioned to enjoy a conversation, to at least know something. Many of us will read biographies of great leaders, whether it's Sir Winston, whether it's a business tycoon or the like, so that we know. But how many of us understand, historically, some of the movements of the religious freedoms that we enjoy today? We take it for granted, especially in Cayman, where on a Sunday morning or Saturday night or Wednesday evening, you can choose to go to a church or not. And
that's right.
To any church, there's so many represented here, whether we go or not. But there are people who, they're not available, they can't, they still, to this day, have to be underground. How did that freedom come about? Why did we take it for granted?
We get emerging out of the Swiss southern Germany area with the Anabaptists. Those believers would later be called names that we know of today, like the Mennonites, the Amish, the Hutterites. There's some different names there. But by the time the Baptists emerged in 1609, again, it was really a movement of a people that just wanted freedom. They were English separatists who believed that the king should have authority in matters of the state, but not in matters of faith. And that seemingly innocent position put the first Baptist pastor in England, Thomas Helwys, put him in Newgate Prison, and he died there. But they fought these battles early on for freedom to believe, so that when the Baptists emerged over in the colonies, it's interesting. Here's a story. The first colony, I'll test your U.S. history here, the first colony of the 13 that would establish religious liberty in their charter was the colony of Rhode Island. In fact, it was the first legal document guaranteeing religious freedom in the world, and it was the Rhode Island Charter. Well, the founder of the colony of Rhode Island was Roger Williams, who was the pastor of First Baptist Church of Providence. So early on, the Baptists took this penchant for freedom and put it not just in the church matters, but in matters of state.
Now, maybe you can help us, and this is why I like to read as much as I can about as many varied areas. So if you like economics and you only read economic texts, well, you may only have an insight in particular things. Rhode Island today, my understanding, how would you say, liberal, or is it very conservative? When we look at their voting, some of their legislation.
I don't know much about the politics, but I would suppose they're probably more of a blue state, a liberal state. But there at Providence, I actually had the privilege to worship in the fall of 2015 at the First Baptist Church of America. And it's the seedbed thereof where this thought that no one should be imprisoned or harassed for what they believe. There should be a free exchange of ideas.
Yep.
Surely, hopefully, we still have that today.
And the reason why I asked that is just after I knew of your book, after it came out, and I was just thinking, just looking at the U.S., but applying it to here. So many of us see the freedoms that we have, the freedoms to criticize our government, sometimes to be very malicious in doing so, the freedom to reject certain things or advocate for certain things. And do we understand how those freedoms, they weren't just political thought, they came from, as I gradually increasingly understand, here are religious people, the Baptists, as we know.
Well, let me tie together that thought. Not long after the Rhode Island establishment, the days of the American independence movement was underway, and again, I'd have to summarize here, but the two leaders for the new nation emerging, Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, would later both become presidents there. But these two leaders are known for their stand for freedom. But the First Amendment to the Constitution of the U.S., the non-establishment clause, where Congress shall make no law establishing religion. And we call that today in a popular way the separation of church and state. Most people don't realize that the reason that's there is because two Baptist preachers, John Leland and Isaac Backus, said to Jefferson and Madison, if you don't include a guarantee of religious liberty, you won't have the support of the Baptists. Because most of the Baptists of the colonies, or many of them rather, of the leaders, spent more time in jail than they probably did in their pulpits because they refused to pay the tax to support the Church of England ministers' salaries. They just believed that faith should be free and not coerced.
And that's the thing. certainly won't ask us to delve into it, but I've always been interested. There have been a couple of early cases in the U.S. Supreme Court that, much more legalist, scholarly people than myself would know, who shared that the idea of separation of church and state wasn't just that. It was the idea that, you still enjoy the worship, the prayers within, and the petitions of those duly elected people to call on a higher power. Not what I think is the misapplication and misunderstanding
Absolutely.
today.
Dwayne, the phrase, this wall of separation between church and state, was first used in a letter that Thomas Jefferson wrote to the Danbury Baptist Association. It was just what you're saying. It wasn't to keep the church out of life and community. It was to keep government out of the church and in any way forcing or coercing some brand of faith.
I think that's why when I tell people we need to read and also understand the sources that we're reading, that they're credible and timely and reliable and the like, but not just repeat because someone that you think is influential, whether it's on a talking head on the TV or some political spin doctor shares something. A book like this, a historical reference, if I may say, gives us a good summary as to why we can champion certain things, why we can enjoy the religious freedoms and liberties that we have. Now, to the layperson, for instance, casual church attender, some Mother's Day, it's Christmas that we go because we got to put in appearances. We pick this up and we read it. What would it do for us? What are you hoping that we get?
Well, it's been my prayer that the book would be used for the glory of God.
Amen.
Because what is at the heart of a Baptist, and I actually have a couple of quotes on a Baptist heart. The heart or the passion of a Baptist is God's Word and the gospel. That faith is personal. Nobody else can do it for you. So when you have the Scriptures and you have this commitment to a personal faith and then the freedom to practice it, what happens is grace, freedom abounds. And there's an impact, not just for you eternally with your salvation, because I certainly believe that personal faith in Jesus Christ, because of the Scriptures, I believe that He is the way of salvation. But when I put with that the freedom in the Holy Spirit, where the Spirit is, the Scripture says there's liberty. So many good things happen to transform society. Another great story. This is just incredible to me. In fact, I got so caught up in the Jamaica story, I had to keep my focus to come back to Cayman here. But the Jamaican story is one that the world needs to hear of the Baptist understanding or Baptist telling of that, because it was an ex-slave, George Lau, in the Revolutionary War as it was ending. The British commander of the garrison there at Tybee Island paid his passage for him and his family to go to Kingston. He was a preacher, a Baptist preacher, and he gets to Kingston and he starts preaching the gospel. Well, his audience was mainly the enslaved of Jamaica. Hundreds came to Christ. And that transformative beginning, hearing the good news, hearing about freedom that's found in Jesus, was powerful. So that just a few years later, that was like in the late 1700s, by 1825, Lowell and some of his associates said, we need help. They invited the British Baptist in. Get this, 2 British missionaries came, and this is what stuns me when I think about it. One of them, William Knibb, was 21 years old and had been married a month when he and his new bride got aboard the ship to head to that tropical graveyard for the Brits because of the tropical diseases. And the other one was Thomas Burchell. He was 23. Think about it. A 21-year-old and a 23-year-old with their young wives. They come to Jamaica to support the emerging Baptist work. And out of that, just a few years later, that was 1825. So in 1833, Parliament, the English Parliament, declared the Emancipation Act of 1833. Wilberforce had given us the abolishment of slave trade, he and his group, in 1807, but it left 900,000 enslaved people in slavery. But in 1833, through the actions of Knibb and Burchell back and forth to England, and with the work of the Baptists in Jamaica, the world was given the first legal emancipation of slaves, setting free 900,000 people. That's why in Jamaica today, this is amazing to me. They have 6 national heroes in Jamaica. 3 of them are Baptist. I pick at my U.S. friend and say, so how many of the founding fathers in the U.S. were Baptist? None. None. Again, mainly we were in prison so much there in the colonies, but the influence, this freedom emphasis, the personal faith in Jesus Christ gave worth and dignity and encouragement to a people that turned the world upside down.
As you share that, I'm thinking of a couple of things and guide me, because sometimes, I may remember some of it, but not the exact reference. Is it 1 Timothy 4:12? Don't let them despise you because
Absolutely.
of your youth.
You're good. That's a great. You got it down.
No, that's sitting in the scripture, man.
Don't let anybody despise you because you're young.
Yeah, and you think a 21-year-old and 23-year-old against the odds. When we look at that in the context of what was happening in world history then, right? The U.S., just now birth of its nation. We're seeing slavery being accepted. We're seeing how long it took in the U.S., not just here, for women to eventually get the right to vote, for people to be seen the same despite their color, right?
Yeah.
Now, and I share that secondly because I think people need to be able to pick up something. And I would offer up your book as an opportunity to see not just the religious aspect of it, but how it plays into world history.
There are Baptists, I said I wrote primarily for our Baptists. There are Baptists around the world that may not realize who they are as Baptists. Sometimes we don't act very true to our heritage. That may be true of many religious groups. But to truly be a Baptist is to have these distinctive commitments that God's Word. For instance, you don't have to agree with me that it's God's Word, but I would respect your right to differ with me as I would ask for your respect for me. But it's that respect, it's that personal faith commitment to Christ, and then from that flows the local church and missions, evangelism, doing good in our world. And yes, we will always stand and fight for freedom.
Now, Pastor Ron, all of us who know you, we're amazed at how you seem to find more than 24 hours in a day. I'm quite sure how you manage that. Hopefully one day you'll share that skill with us. We invite you, if you so choose. I know you only had a little bit of time. If you wanted 15 minutes or a bit, you have time. Yeah. We can hear some of the stories from you. Something I would like to ask you when we come back from the break. As I said, this is a cursory review. I do apologize. I didn't make time to read it beforehand. I relied on a couple of people who did. I picked a couple of things from our conversations. But this idea of tolerance and acceptance, you just shared. Be free to agree or disagree. Tolerance and respect. The idea that we're seeing in our society, in Cayman specifically, but globally, change, not necessarily for the best. People are becoming concerned about fake news. People are not being as willing to look at integrity and the like. And perhaps more so when we talk about the leader, the political leader, the business leader, the community leader. Oh no, they can't be religious people because those things need to be over here. We need to be focused on this. Could we look at some of that respectfully in context that the radical, the word root, the Baptists in particular, whether it's in the U.S. Sort of revolution, as it were, another bad word that's been misused. The people with conviction who are willing to stand in the gap, stand their ground because it's the right thing to do. Maybe we think of Winston Churchill, for instance, and his willingness to stay the course to maybe today. And the call to leadership, perhaps tie that in somewhere?
Sure, we'll do it.
All right. Well, that's the tall order. The exam comes up at 2. No, just kidding. I invite you to call, though, if you have a question or a comment as we speak to Pastor Randy Van Connell. Our Baptist story from England to the Cayman Islands. It's an easy read, but it's one that you want to read and reread and learn each time you do. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Wow, looks good. What is that?
Chicken share.
What did you just say to me?
Chicken share.
I am not a chicken
Whoa, I said chicken share. It's from KFC. Bucket of 12 hot wings, 6 pieces of chicken, or 8 tenders. KFC chicken share. Just $12 each.
Oh.
Want some chicken, tenders, or hot wings?
You're sharing your chicken share with me?
The new chicken share from KFC, just $12 each, and it's finger-licking good. Dine at KFC Baytown Plaza, KFC Shedden Road, or KFC at the Strand.
Headlines.
With the latest headlines.
Headlines.
All the news when you want it. Tune in to Radio Cayman for hourly headlines of the day's top stories.
One of Cayman's bright and shining young stars.
Local, regional, international.
Headlines.
Turning to international news. Updates on the hour between 7 a.m. and 6 p.m. on weekdays. Radio Cayman News.
Headlines.
Your voice, your choice for today's biggest news.
Not all insurance is created equal, but who has the time to shop around? Take the guesswork out of your insurance coverage with Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Let us match you with the best coverage to suit your needs at a price to suit your wallet. Plus, get superior customer service from dedicated claims professionals to ensure speedy claims processing. Get your insurance through Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
When it comes to designing a kitchen or a bath, functionality and style should be at the center of your design. Declutter, improve lighting, change cabinets, increase storage, and show your style with the help from experts at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 20% on the finest cabinets and fixtures this July for Kitchen and Bath Month at Brand Source. The design team can help create the perfect personal spa retreat and help design your functional kitchen, whether designing from scratch or renovating your home. Stop by Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, to save 20% on kitchen and bath cabinets and fixtures.
Why rush around paying bills when you can pay most of your bills online? Cayman National offers an extensive list of service providers. Visit CaymanNational.com and log on to our personal or business online banking systems. Not an online banking customer? Contact their customer support team on 949-8300 for more information.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. Call and share your thoughts with us. If you want to WhatsApp, let me check to make sure. No, that's just a lunch order. No, just kidding. WhatsApp 925-3261. On this day, it's a pleasure to continue speaking with Pastor Randy Moncannell as he shares with us, our Baptist story from England to the Cayman Islands. Many of us don't really know a lot about history in general, and even when it's specifically or relevant to us. Well, as you share with us, Pastor, I'm always interested in learning.
Well, thank you, Dwayne, again for having me. And it is called Our Baptist Story. That speaks of the fact that it's a group of us. So I've written the book. Yes, it's got my name on there, along with Bernard Tibbetts of Cayman Brack, because he's been our sort of resident historian among the Baptists for the many years. But we're doing it as a group. I'm not receiving anything for the sale of the book. We're going to use any proceeds over the printing costs to support training of pastors and church leaders in our new seminary we have there at the church. But it's our story of how God sovereignly brought us to where we are today. And it started there in 1886 when a Reverend Ruddy, which that name is still a prominent name here in the Cayman Islands, but Reverend Ruddy and his wife arrived from Jamaica as missionaries to begin the first Baptist work in Cayman Brack. It quickly moved across the little island there and to Little Cayman, and there were actually 4 churches. In fact, by the 1917 census, the largest church was Little Cayman Baptist Church. Things changed, though. The population shifted, but we'd go through many years of those churches being faithful through several hurricanes, rebuilding, staying faithful, raising a generation of believers that were strong in the Lord and in the faith. And then we came to that point in the 1960s, 70s, and 80s where we had 2 very outstanding pastors in Cayman Brack, Reverend Lee King and Brother Turner, that would have long ministries. In fact, Brother Turner is the longest-serving pastor of any denomination in the Cayman Islands. He's still the pastor there in Cayman Brack. I think he's now 88 years old. My greetings to him if he's listening today. But these churches, these 2 leaders of the of that period of time. Reverend King was there 40 years. Out of that time would come young people who have moved to Grand Cayman and who've given us the strength that our Baptist churches here have. There are 4 active Baptist churches here in Grand Cayman, and the sons and daughters of those Cayman Brac Baptists came here and have helped us to establish. But as I noted earlier, it was in 1977 that the first Baptist work started. It is today the First Baptist Church of Grand Cayman. Wonderful church, wonderful group of people. We also have the Calvary Baptist Church, the Good News Baptist Church, and then the Cayman Islands Baptist Church. That's just a quick overview.
No, but it is. And as I listen to it, we recognize in how, we worship. Some of them are family, either by marriage or otherwise. And to see not just the resolve, but the resilience. You mentioned the hurricanes passing, the rebuilding. These are the people. As you were sharing that, I remember a fact that someone shared with me recently, apparently some study by one of those respected and established bodies of professionals, who said those who attend church or religious organizations live on average 5 to 10 years longer.
I read that.
You read that? Someone shared that.
There's hope for us.
I think I should go to church, man. Susan's like, yeah, I should. But you see the things you learn and you remember.
That's right.
Especially recently. But as you look at the Baptist story here in the Cayman, there's so much of it that is probably gone untold. So much of it that as we worship within, just generally speaking, that we're not sure of. And I think what struck me initially to learn that here on Cayman Brac, the Baptist has been there from, say, day one. Mm-hmm. But on Grand Cayman, it's almost 100 years, thereabouts, if I, math is correct and my historical numbers are right, before we've seen that here. And yet, many of those people, from the Brac would still worship in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the migration, young people coming here to Grand Cayman for work in the 60s, 70s, the boom times, I guess I can characterize it as that. That's when there was a tourism banking started. So these young people were here working, and they were attending churches, but they were wanting that Baptist witness that they had grown up in Cayman Brac. So they came together, and quickly you had the First Baptist work, and then shortly after the Good News work and the Calvary work started. And then years later, in 2005, we had the Cayman Islands Baptist Church.
Mm-hmm. Now, I would invite those who listen to be a part of our discussion, and whether it's through a WhatsApp or a telephone call, 925-32621, or 1-800-534-8255. I was just listening to Miss Susan. Yes, I do, hear voices. It's usually hers telling me something. Pastor, it is radio, but because of radio now, Susan and the team here has deployed a technology. I think it's called YouTube. I think it's theirs or something. You can go online like Radio Cayman and watch a streaming live. She's asked me to hold up the book. Didn't even smile too, Susan? How's that? Up a little higher, she said. For those who are watching us, not just listening,
right.
Here is the book. How's that, Miss Susan? Okay. Do I point to it like Vanna White? No.
And let me tell you about that cover.
I was going to ask you about it.
It's a beautiful cover.
Yeah.
I can say that because I didn't create it. But that's actually a Courtney Platt photograph of Smith Barcadier, Smith Cove. And then Charles Gilman, again, one of the members here on Island, a young man on Island, he did the design layout, so it's quite an attractive cover.
It is quite a nice one. I like how, the waves and the clouds all conspired to put the cross in the water. Mm-hmm. No, I think I was up there that day. They saw me coming and go, ooh.
By the way, you'll note it's a sunset picture, and I actually thought about putting, the morning shot there, but it almost looked like a tourist book. But as I saw the sunset, I was reminded that Herbert and Jackie Neely used to say, paraphrasing the words of Jesus, we've got to work because the night is coming. Mm-hmm. We only have a limited amount of time to share the gospel. So that reminds us, that cover, that the sun is setting on the opportunities we have to tell people about Jesus.
Was it no man know the hour nor the day?
Yeah.
If I may respectfully ask, there are some of us, maybe it's a particular ilk or leaning or otherwise, who, as I sort of alluded to earlier, we enjoy a particular subject. We may be schooled in that profession, and we only limit our knowledge and our view to reading or engaging in that thing. With religion, we worship here, and we have these are the religious folk, little or no tolerance, interest in trying to learn about other things, being accepting and tolerant. So there are those who listen and say, oh, that's Baptist, so I'm not a Baptist, I'm not even going. I think that we've been missing something, but that's just me. Your thoughts, sir?
Well, again, I guess I'm prejudiced here, but I think it's based on history. I think anyone that would read the book would quickly sense that to be what I mean by a Baptist is someone who will defend your right not to be one. Mm-hmm. There is this desire that no one is forced against conscience. If you're going to choose to follow Jesus Christ, it should be a free decision on your part, not because some king or some magistrate has told you have to. And the same way would come to me as a Baptist preacher. If I thought I could do anything to force you to become a Baptist, I would not do it, because that would go against our grain. We as Baptists, if you read this, you'll find that we're just, again, I use the little b there, we're a movement that would give rise to the many denominations we have today that have the freedom to believe the Bible as they feel led, again, without having to fall under some larger canopy of church hierarchy.
So not so much the law and legalism, but freedom to choose. I mean,
well, see, we believe God's Word is powerful. Mm-hmm. We just need to let it loose. Yeah. I'm not afraid to let someone read the Bible and think and let the Holy Spirit guide. And so we defend your right to do that. We just don't want to spoon feed anybody like that. But we do want you to, that is our ground now, our foundation. I don't just believe anything, but if I take the Scriptures, I anchor the fact that this is God's Word, and with the freedom to read it and believe it, I'll just let the Scripture direct my path.
No, from that perspective, then, and I think there are many of us who share that. That's the whole notion. God gave us the freedom to choose. Mm-hmm. You want to come to worship and serve, and if you don't, well, here's a perspective. But for those who like history or like to get a perspective, like to know, if they were reading this, some, and I trust that this is not the case, but more than likely there is potential for some to immediately dismiss it because it's a religiously influential thing. Or if it's even Baptist, so therefore I'm not. But if we did that, what would we miss?
Well, you'll miss the great story of the movement of freedom from England through the U.S. through Jamaica that's given the world today a legacy of standing for the individual conscience and freedom of persons, whether in matters of faith or in society. It's not a coincidence that the modern-day leader of the U.S. civil rights movement, the deceased Martin Luther King Jr., it's not coincidence that he was a Baptist preacher. I could give you a lineup of leaders in world history in these last 400 years who are synonymous with freedom, and they were somehow associated with the Baptist movement.
I didn't, to those who are listening, I don't script my guests, and I don't tell them what to say and what not to say. But when I was reading, just through history and looking at things, and you see people who are motivated, who have conviction, effective people who, at the end of the day, history has looked at them kindly and said, they stood for something. Sometimes we don't drill further to realize, well, their heritage, who were their families, what were their economic and environmental, social conditions at the time that may have motivated them, male and female alike. Something that I discovered that sometimes, trying to draw analogies and comparisons. They were Baptists. Is it the fervor that comes from being the Anabaptist, that zeal to see justice through?
Well, there weren't Baptists in the historical or denominational sense, but first, the apostles, when they were told to quit preaching about Jesus, they told the religious leaders of Jerusalem, well, judge for yourselves whether or not we should obey God or man. Mm-hmm. In other words, that was an argument for freedom. Now, you may throw us in prison, but we're not going to quit teaching and preaching about Jesus. That passion that comes from knowing Christ and knowing His Word, though some may call that restrictive, it actually is it's the opposite. It gives freedom. It's like a football player that has to learn the fundamentals of their sport so that on the field there's the freedom to play ball. Yeah. So once we get these bedrock fundamentals of our faith in place, there's a freedom that emerges that can, again, turn the world upside down.
Well, I don't feel then I was misguided, because I was thinking that sometimes having that knowledge, that foundation, that grounding, you can stand on conviction. You're a person who knows, her profession. She can, with authority, get up and speak about it. Maybe, she's a physician and specializes in cardiology. She can have that conversation because she knows.
She knows it, yes.
Likewise with this, if we have that freedom, we have the conviction, we have the confidence, because we've been competently informed, that can give us that ability to maybe become better leaders, politically, socially, economically, civically, and otherwise.
Yes.
I was thinking of that when I was asking the question, because I think this gives us encouragement to do and say the right thing, even if we maybe initially feel as if, we're that lone voice out in the wilderness somewhere, and like Sir Winston for a while, he was the sole person sort of championing, and the others going, man, what are you on today? Yeah. At least that's what it seems. I wasn't there then. Seems what history has said.
Yeah. In our world today, there's certainly a lot of conflict, tensions, political, social. There are so many problems, it seems. Though I'm a believer that God's at work and He's still on His throne, and we shouldn't lose hope or faith. But in these difficult days when there's opposing ideas, the Baptist voice certainly, it can be quite a diverse voice, by the way. There's no one telling all the Baptists what to believe or positions to take. There's some freedoms within us. But the Baptist voice would ask for respect in the discourse, so that I can differ with somebody, and then I just ask that as I respect you, you would respect me, and I will fight for your right to express what you believe, even if it's not something. But I like to say it this way: I'm in the foxhole. We're shoulder to shoulder fighting for our freedom. But when the fighting lulls, the two of us in the foxhole can have our debate over what we're differing on.
We stand strong together for that thing that matters. And that's important. Now, as we sort of close our discussion, thank you so much for the time. Any parting thoughts you may want to leave us, about the book, about anything, Pastor? Always appreciate it.
Well, we'd love for people to get a copy of the book. It's being sold at the Christian Enlightenment Center. I'd love to see you on Saturday at 11 o'clock at the Georgetown Library. I'll be there signing books, selling them and signing them. So those are two places right now. I will be at First Baptist Church on the last Sunday of July the 29th after the morning worship. Also, you can get a book then, and you can always call the Cayman Islands Baptist Church office to pick up a copy.
I think many of us appreciate the opportunity to learn something that we didn't know, to be reminded of something that we always thought, and to have a reference to be able to move forward with a level of conviction. I always appreciate learning from you and talking and being encouraged and inspired, Pastor.
Thank you, Dwayne. Right. Thank you for having me.
Our Baptist story, Pastor Randy Von Candle with Brother Tibbetts and the Rack, from England to the Cayman Islands. Hey, a lot in between there, right? Yeah. All right. We'll pause. We'll take a break. We're going to come back a few minutes of open line, 2 o'clock right after the news. We're expecting a conversation about the ongoing, what do we call it, Susan, the garbage situation? We'll talk to them. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
When it comes to designing a kitchen or a bath, functionality and style should be at the center of your design. Declutter, improve lighting, change cabinets, increase storage, and show your style with the help from experts at Brand Source Home Gallery. Save 20% on the finest cabinets and fixtures this July for Kitchen and Bath Month at Brand Source. The design team can help create the perfect personal spa retreat and help design your functional kitchen, whether designing from scratch or renovating your home. Stop by Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, to save 20% on kitchen and bath cabinets and fixtures.
Optical Outlook is so wicked.
They're brilliant. Tremendous.
So hot. They're awesome. Yo, them cool.
They're sweet.
Just ice, mate.
I love them like cooked food.
Head to Optical Outlook and find many designer brands for men and women. Sun safety and eye health care never look so good. They'll be able to help you find the best fit for your face and budget. Call 746-2020 and book your eye exam today. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook and make sure to follow them on Facebook and Instagram.
Pirates Cave and Eatery.
Tune in Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.
Exclusive.
Radio Cayman's Super Jam Show, the #1 drive time entertainment show on your radio, featuring Will Sinatra. Enjoy a mix of pop, hip-hop, dancehall, and soca, and an entertainment trivia section.
Another proud sponsor of the Super Jam Show.
Pirates Cave and Eatery.
Bring your family, satisfy your appetite, enjoy the ambience.
It's hard. Being a parent is demanding, not to mention trying to keep a roof over our heads and food on the table. I needed help, and the Ministry of Education was able to provide it for my child to attend preschool. From one parent to another, if you need the financial help, submit your application today to find out if you qualify for preschool funding assistance.
If you have a child who is 3 years old but not yet 4 by September the 1st, you may be eligible to receive funding. Application forms can be collected from the Government Administration Building, the Department of Education Services, all early childhood centers, and may be found on the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.ky. If you need more information about this government assistance program, please do email ecap@gov.ky. That's ECAP@gov.ky, or call 244-5724.
89.9 Radio Cayman helps you to weather the storm during this hurricane season.
One of the most crucial elements of hurricane preparedness is storm awareness. During the season, it is of utmost importance to pay attention to the latest local weather forecast, as hurricanes do not suddenly form or strike. There are various methods of advanced notification. Utilizing such may be the difference between a favorable outcome and disaster. Both television and radio serve as excellent mediums with up-to-the-minute storm path information in the wake of a hurricane. Another method of tracking a hurricane may be only arm's length away. Your smartphone or tablet can be your most valuable tool before, during, and after a storm, providing countless numbers of apps with crucial hurricane information. Many apps allow you to track storms with moving radar and satellite imagery, plus offer alerts, current conditions, forecasts, advisories, and even video.
This hurricane preparedness tip was brought to you by your community radio station, Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today. Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thank you for joining us. A few minutes of open line, and then 2 o'clock, as promised, to get a chance to update our public on the, as it's termed, the garbage situation. It is open line though, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. You can WhatsApp 925-3261, or you can email talktoday@candw.ky. Again, a very special thanks to Pastor Randy Van Cannell for joining us earlier and sharing with us, about his latest book, Our Baptist Story. I would say to you, if you like history, hey, you don't need to be a religious scholar. You don't need to be religious. You don't even necessarily need to, be a Baptist. Always good to be able to understand things from a different perspective. And as he shared, Saturday morning, 11 a.m. at the Georgetown Public Library, he'll be there. So maybe while you're out and about, take a few minutes, go by, have a chat with him, pick up a copy. Proceeds will go, as he said, not to his pockets, but to support the development and training of future pastors and church leaders and the like. I always enjoy being able to learn something new, and there are many stories within the book as it traces its way from England to here in the Cayman Islands. And many of us know that on Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, not only have the churches been there for a long time and they're beautiful churches, but they're well attended. There's a strong Baptist congregation. But it's been there, from, as Pastor shared, from the 1800s. Yet, it took almost 100 years later before we saw that similar presence here on Grand Cayman. Well, what's on your mind? Well, share with us your thoughts. Hey, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. Likewise, you can WhatsApp 925-32-621. So we're looking at a couple of comments here from some of our individuals and find it increasingly challenging to, given the cameras and all the like, to be able to pay attention to what's being sent electronically and also share. Maybe it's a change in paradigm. Who knows? 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or email talktoday@candw.ky. Now, as we're looking at a couple of things that have been shared with us now, let me see where so many of the concepts, thoughts, some of the particular views and the like of some of our listeners sort of take us. This particular listener has put forward the sentiment that, on one hand, she writes, the politicians and the politically charged seem to be pushing us down a path of independence. The business people / political handlers, contributors, puppet masters are directing the outcomes. And in the middle, it's us, the voters, unaware, ill-informed, and seemingly confused. So what's missing from this equation? And then she shares the UK. Is it on one hand that they're willing to see what happens and let the chips fall where they may? On two, are they the invisible hand that looking at what direction will go and then pick up the scraps? Then she concludes by saying, well, will we ever know? Will we ever be the wiser? The media seems to be unwilling to inquire and investigate. Those who speak always seem to be speaking from, an old, outdated mode. Well, certainly as I shared with this individual and responding to his comment, well, enlighten us. Give us a perspective. Good to see that people are willing to question. Now it's time for us, as she alludes, for us to champion the mode and the mindset and to hopefully bring forward a meaningful, timely discussion relative to where the history of this country is, where its future may lie, and what impact our political decisions will have on our populace. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And look forward to having you share with us. Now, quick reminder, after our news break, we'll get a chance to have a chat with our friends from DEH and give us an update, give us a new perspective as we invite them to share. Always an excellent opportunity to have the public hear directly from those who are, positioned, who are expected to perform, and who can, through their actions, profit our people the latest information. Give you numbers to call to add your bit if you wish, 949-8037 or 1-800-534-8255. When we come back, we ask you to rejoin us. So please, remember to give us a call, share your thoughts with us. We're going to be getting a chance to talk with our reps from DEH about the current situation pertaining to garbage collection and like. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
From district to district, moving through the waters to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. Your station, your voice. All things Cayman. One radio, many people. This is home.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The
Cayman Islands Health Services Authority is in the process of relocating its public health administration and the Cayman Islands Cancer Registry from the Cayman Islands Hospital campus to a nearby building of the Smith Road Center offices. The move is part of an expansion project that aims to help the organization meet the needs of the growing demand for services at the HSA and annual increase in the population of the Cayman Islands. Public health services such as immunizations for adults and children, including travel health clinic and school entry screening, are still available at the Cayman Islands Hospital. Good afternoon, I'm Dion Anglin with your headlines and news elsewhere. U.S. President Donald Trump has lashed out at haters who condemned his meeting with Russia's president. On Twitter, Mr. Trump said his critics were suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. The broadside came a day after he said he misspoke during Monday's Helsinki summit when he appeared to side with Vladimir Putin over claims of Kremlin meddling in U.S. elections. Despite the controversy, Republican voters still seem to support Mr. Trump. Forest fires raging across Sweden as far north as the Arctic Circle have prompted authorities to ask for international assistance. This afternoon, 44 fires were burning from Lapland in the far north to the southern island of Gotland. Hot weather and persistent drought are the main causes, and the National Weather Service has issued fire warnings for almost the entire country. Italy and Norway have both dispatched firefighting aircrafts to help. And 17 men have been charged in India with the gang rape of an 11-year-old girl in the city of Chennai. Police say the girl was raped repeatedly since the start of the year. They say the main perpetrator was a lift operator in her apartment block. He is alleged to have drugged the girl and invited other men to assault her. Police say more arrests are likely. India is experiencing renewed public outrage over the number of violent sexual assaults in the country. That's a wrap of your headlines. I'm Dion Anglin.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
Country classics.
Well, I was born to coal miner's daughter.
On the road again. They're gonna put me in the movies.
Papa Top again.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Because you're mine, I walk the line.
Well, I love them in
country classics.
Young love, first love. You never count your money when you're sitting at the table.
If you enjoy classic country music, come hang out with Radio Cayman this Saturday, 3:30 to 6 p.m.
In the Mississippi cotton picking Delta town.
This Saturday afternoon, following American Country Countdown, 3:30 to 6 on Radio Cayman.
Just walk on by. Wait on the corner.
Country classics.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
Talk today. But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us. And yes, I am laughing as well. And you have to, it's Wednesday, all right? Invite you now to be a part of our discussion for the remainder of the program as we invite to the studio Mr. Mark Bothwell, the Acting Assistant Director for Solid Waste over DE, together with the Public Relations and Education Officer, Ms. Stacey Ann Anderson, and the Operations Manager, Solid Waste, Mr. Ronald Dilbert. Ladies and gents, thanks so much for coming on board. with respect to a handsome, fine gentleman, we should say ladies first, right? Good best beers, we always know to be respectful.
Respect that.
Yes. Ms. Stacey, thank you so much, Mom, for joining us, but helping us to set the stage for our discussion. Good afternoon to you, Mom.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having us this evening.
It's a pleasure. And I like the fact, that the gentlemen are protectors. You see that? They put the rose among the thorns. Ms. Stacey, take us through, help us to get a perspective, Mom.
All right, so as part of the DEH's renewed commitment to provide garbage collection service that is value for money, we have recognized the need for a two-way communication with our public. And in so doing, we would like to take this opportunity to educate our publics on various facets of solid waste management. And what do I mean by this? What I'm trying to say is that we're trying to educate the public about the importance of proper solid waste management and packaging. So packaging and handling of solid waste, particularly as it relates to household solid waste or garbage. We also want to ensure that the public's awareness is heightened on the various services that are offered at our 24-hour drop-off site, which is located at the entrance of the Georgetown landfill. And we also want to give persons the opportunity, or let persons become aware of the various avenues that they can utilize in the event that they have any challenges with their garbage collection, particularly that of the household collection.
Mr. Bothwell, when we look at, garbage, I think many of us recognize that we as households, as businesses, we play a role. We have to get it out there in a timely manner, secure it properly, so that it can be collected. But then we also are very, very conscious of when schedules are interrupted, whether personnel, equipment, or otherwise.
Right. Well, we're trying our best to keep everything on schedule as best as we can. But as Ms. Stacey was saying, the public has a role to play. A big part. They need to understand that. That's why we're here today. Obviously, people need to be made aware of the proper garbage handling of the garbage, putting it out by the roadside, making sure that it's accessible easily for the collectors, and also making sure that their bins inside of their bin areas is kept well clean and stuff like that. That's actually not responsibility of the DH or the government. That's people's personal property. And you'll find a lot of times that there's overflow of garbage that's actually inside of the containers for the bins, and they should be responsible to keep those clean and stuff. So lids should be kept on the garbage cans as much as possible, and we're just here to try and enlighten some of the issues that some of our guys, since we've been there for a short period of time, we're trying to figure out and try to make things better. These are some of the problems that we're facing. Yeah. So if we can have the public help us, that will go a long ways as well.
Would that mean it then that perhaps the collection on the day can go more smoothly, efficiently? We can come in, pick the garbage up, put it in, put the can back, and
That's correct.
All right.
Timely and efficient collections.
All right. Well, tell us what we need to do, Mr. Gilbert.
Well, right now we're having a lot of problems when the guys have to go there. There's spillage, and they have to stop, use a lot of time to actually clean that up, right? We're trying to also to make the public aware that injuries is actually something that we try and avoid. I've been there 30 years, and it's constantly injuries after injury. One of the problems I see is that enclosures, which is where you place your garbage bins, are without an entrance. It doesn't have a gate. Those gentlemen have to lift heavy weights over the top of the lid bin, right? And that's causing some problems with their shoulders, back, etc.
Okay. So we're looking at mainly residential household collections.
Yes.
And I call them garbage cans. So
yes.
Not I call them containers, the skips, not
Correct.
Those where the truck comes in.
Exactly.
That are usually in the commercial retail environments.
Apartments and stuff like that.
That is correct.
Okay.
We're mostly talking about the bins
of
household.
The household.
Yeah.
Okay. And when you said enclosures, I'm picturing where we're familiar with them, even in households and small complexes, we'll have 3 or 4 maybe bins out there and a little fence wall around it, presumably with a gate. Right. But people in the neighborhood, sometimes the people themselves will just toss their bags in there. You're saying don't do that.
No.
Put it
in the bin.
Get it
Put
out.
it in the bin.
Right.
Another thing too, when people put their garbage out, they need to make sure the garbage is actually inside a garbage bag. You'll find some people that will actually put garbage inside the bin that is just loose garbage. That's a big problem. We don't want that. Obviously the breeze that blows out, dogs, chickens, whatever. Plus when the guys go there, it makes their job more difficult, slows them down. All garbage should be put inside a proper garbage bag, and then so that when the collectors are there, it makes their job much easier and better, and it's healthier for the environment.
Okay.
So,
and just following on from what Mr. Bartlett just said, those bags must then be placed in sturdy garbage containers that have handles, because we have to appreciate that it is a difficult job. And for the collection crew, the crew members, to have to lift these containers day in and day out, we want to ensure that it is somewhat easier for them to lift it. So ensure that these containers have handles. Additionally, they need to have covers, and these covers need to be tightly fitted and preferably hinged as well, so as to keep out the intrusion of animals or to prevent the storage or the settling of water. So it's very key that the bags are placed in the containers, and the containers are placed within the enclosures. And we also ask that the enclosures have gates at the front, because again, it is difficult for collection crew members to have to lift the containers from the enclosures. So it'll be easier if the gate is to the front. They can open the gate and easily remove that container as well.
Right, exactly.
Now, for household garbage, some of us, we're in a household, whatever we're doing, let's go on the premise that some of us are recycling and the like, but we just toss it in the garbage and even we secure it properly. Are there things that in a household we should not be, disposing of in a regular collection?
Definitely.
Give us a chance.
For example, we are having a lot of people with diabetes. Some of them does not actually go to the doctor for it. They use their own syringes. That can be a problem. We should not utilize our syringes into the regular garbage.
Don't put them in there then?
No,
okay.
no.
Right.
Broken glass is another one that can be very dangerous to the guys.
Bottle breaks and we pick it up, we clean it up,
exactly.
Throw it in the garbage.
Right.
Okay.
Garden waste is also something that we try to not encourage.
Okay.
Because depending on your size property, it can create a lot of waste there. Right? There's a public drop-off where that can go, actually.
All right. Now, for the broken glass, I'm just thinking, there's a birthday party, a bottle of juice, or, World Cup is finished, there might be a little juice. I don't know. Bottles get broken.
Yeah.
What do we do?
Well, we're also trying to promote now, as you know, recycling is becoming more and more popular in Cayman.
Right.
And we're trying to focus on that and promote that as much as possible. So obviously we would appreciate if people would start to recycle their glass bottles especially. There's several places throughout the island, strategically placed bins for people to go and put their bottles, whatever is glass, and if it's, like you said, if it's, the most normal thing to do for glass breaks, you clean it up and you throw it in the garbage bin. But try not to do that. Maybe try to put it in some kind of container and take it to these recycle dumpsters which are around the island.
Even if it's broken, still recycle it.
Recycle it. You can still
properly.
put it. You can still put it in the bin.
Okay. Now, from that, maybe we have one final break, Ms. Susan. Is that the thing? Right. When we come back, could we ask about sort of the services that are available 24/7 and the like? Ms. Taysan, get you to speak to us. Ms. Waffle, share with us so we can be a little bit better. Can we also ask you about scheduling? Some people have shared, today's Tuesday, I put my garbage out, but wow, now it's Saturday and it's still out there. Right. What should we do and the like? Mm-hmm. All right, questions to be asked, lunch to be served, dessert to be tasted. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
The Empowered Woman. Performance-driven, strong-spirited. You need a ride to match your drive. Whether boss by day or mom by night, with lots of legroom and space for sports gear and other things. The new Ford Ecosport is built for you, and it's now on sale for only $22,000, saving you $2,900 off during That Motors summer sale. Stop by That Motors, where you can also save $3,000 off the new Ford Ranger XLT double cab truck. Just two of the many great deals going on now at That Motors on Walker's Road.
Kings Sports Center's Art of Fun Summer Camp is back from July 3rd to August 3rd. Now in its 14th year, the Art of Fun Camp is ideal for kids aged 5 through 10 with activities from football, basketball, dodgeball, squash, rock climbing, arts and craft, dance, singing, and more. Your child can stay cool while having fun in a safe and secure environment. For more info, email kings.brebanks@gmail.com. That's kings.brebanks@gmail.com. Or call 946-KING, like King's Sports Center on Facebook, and you can also find them on Instagram, or call 946-5464. King's Sports Center, providing you with all your fitness, recreation, and relaxation needs.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back to Talk Today. Thanks for joining us as we have the good company of Mr. Mark Bothwell, Miss Stacey Ann Anderson, and Mr. Ronald Dilbert from the Department of Environmental Health. I got it right, you know.
Yes, you have it right.
Already, you see that. And we had some questions prior to going in, but we have some WhatsApps that we want to read as well. But we're asking, you know, there is this drop-off location.
Yes.
Is it open every day?
Yes.
All day long?
Yes, so we do have a drop-off site. It is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it is located at the entrance of the Georgetown landfill. And persons are able to place small quantities of garbage within this particular area. So you can place small quantities of household waste. You can put smaller bulk waste items. When I speak of bulk waste items, I speak of items such as smaller appliances, vegetative waste, tree branches, that sort of thing. We also speak of old furniture. So when I speak of bulk waste, those are the items with which I'm referring. Mm-hmm. And we can also put some household hazardous waste within the 24-hour drop-off
so
site
like
as well.
Cooking and stuff?
Right. But please be careful to know that it's only small quantities of waste that can be placed there. Anything in excess of a 55-gallon drum, for example, of hazardous waste cannot be facilitated at that area. Waste of that nature or of that quantity would have to be placed in the major section, or the main section rather, of the Georgetown landfill. Okay. Also, it's important to note that commercial waste, so that is waste, particularly waste that is generated from construction and also from landscaping businesses, should not be placed in the 24-hour drop-off site. That sort of waste should be placed in the main section of the Georgetown landfill, which is open from Mondays to Saturdays from 7:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. And within the 24-hour drop-off site, we also have a section for recyclable waste. So we're able to place our plastic bottles, so type 1 and 2 plastic bottles. We're also able to place things such as cardboard, mixed paper, as well as aluminum and tin cans, and of course the broken glass glass that we had mentioned earlier.
Okay. Well, we got a couple of calls online. We got a couple of WhatsApps to read to you. And while we get our headsets set up, everybody has a headset. Mark, we got a special one for you, Mr. Dilbert. There we go. Well, if you take it, it'll be yours. You give her one, you take one. We're all good. Let me read a WhatsApp first, right? It says, what about the role of the public health inspectors in visiting residences for inspections and making needed sanitary recommendations and enforcing those recommendations? There are many unsanitary practices occurring on residential properties and elsewhere. Serious enforcement is necessary if our general sanitation is to improve. This listener sends that through. I think I read everything this shared it there. Caller, Miss Susan. All right, we talk about enforcement, but let's take a caller. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. How are you?
I'm not bad. How are you?
Oh, blessed and very thankful.
I have a complaint, and I called, this is like about 3 months ago, I called a lady in the complaints department at the Department of Environmental Health, and I told her about it, but I'm glad that these other guys are on there now, and I can complain to them directly. Some time ago, they were doing the pickups in the Red Bay State area, and they were picking up garbage like in the early morning hours and late at night and early morning hours. And one morning I went out and I noticed that they're taking my garbage bin and they've gone with it. They threw it in the truck. I'm not happy about that, and I called, I complained, and the lady there told me, she says that I could get it back, but it would take a while to get it back, and she said that I need to go and take a picture. That means I have to go to the store where I bought it from. And I don't understand why they would do that. Okay. My neighbor also told me that they took two for her. So I just don't understand the logic behind this. I mean, I don't know. Can someone tell me?
Okay. Anyone wish to? Thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. Ms. Stacey, we voted you. Okay. Mr. Bothwell?
Yeah.
Okay. So you turn yours up there. So, Mr. Bothwell, so how that would work?
I can hear it.
All right.
I really can't speak to that exact incident. I'm not aware of what took place there, but definitely the collectors are not supposed to be taking anyone's bins or anything like that. We all know that they're not government property. They belong to whoever bought them, the owner of the house, more than likely. So the only thing I could think about was maybe I'm not saying in this particular situation, but I know sometimes we've actually gone on routes. Since I've been there, I've actually gone on some of the routes myself, and I can tell you that some of the bins are pretty useless because they have holes in the bottom and stuff in there. They're pretty old. Like I said, I'm not talking about this particular incident, but even at that point, the collectors would not be instructed to throw away anyone's bins. That's up to the individual that owns the bin to deal with that.
Okay. Couple of WhatsApps, but some of the callers. Let's take this caller first. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. You're on Talk Today.
Hello.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Yeah. One question. What happens to the callipes and the cork skin? Where is that being disposed of?
For the turtles and the like.
Yes, I can speak on that. Yeah, there's a section in the Georgetown landfill where we excavate, where garbage has been placed there for quite a while. So it's doesn't create any odor when you dig it up. There's a pit there which allows large animals such as horses, cows that has deceased, and we get a constant supply from the turtle farm, and that's where they place their garbage. That is covered on a daily basis to prevent any odor from happening there.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
Are there holes being bored in the callipes?
There's no holes, no.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks very much. Again, caller, yeah. Okay, let's read this one. It's on recycling. If I may ask, there's I notice when the truck comes to pick up the recycling, they consolidate the plastics, the glass, and the paper all in the same truck. What is the reason for this? If we are made to separate these items at home, so
that'll be strange.
That doesn't sound right.
Okay. Wow.
The truck actually goes to each location and picks up one item at a time.
Correct.
Okay.
And it might be the same truck, but it's picking up different items at certain times. Follow me? So they might pick up plastic today and then come back tomorrow and pick up glass bottle.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, again, you see, the public is involved in the form, but the practice is glass in one time. Each thing that's separated remains separated when it's collected.
Yeah, right. and we are sure of that because once it comes back to the landfill, we have processing areas where you can only dump certain items, plastic in one area, cardboard, etc.
Okay. Now, we were asking earlier about scheduling and the like, and certainly invitation is always there whenever you need to update the public and involve us, inform us, and the like. But some have shared, we've seen some delays, we've seen, different attempts to improve it. But if an individual is scheduled for, say, Monday pickup, they put it out Monday morning early, Sunday night before, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday doesn't come, should they take it back in? What should we do?
I know that in the past, and I think that is going to be continued, the collection foreman would actually involve the PR person, and they would then make it public if there's a delay. In most cases, those delays are twofold: personnel sometimes, and the equipment, or the lack of.
But if I may add, in furtherance to his response, garbage should be accessible to collection crews at all times.
Right. Yeah.
So ensure that the garbage is always out there. So even though it is not your scheduled pickup day, keep the garbage in the container and the enclosure. That's why we ask for you to have covers and all these things so that we don't have the issues with animals, etc., etc.
Okay.
Yeah. And I can say just to also, if you give me a minute here.
Yes, sir.
We are looking into scheduling. The days are still the same as what is on the website. If you go to the DH website, you'll see, Westby, for example, is Monday. Georgetown is Tuesday, and so on and so on. So that's all the same, but we are still working on the times. Some of you all might have noticed that in the past, just before recent times, they used to be going at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's now been pushed back a little bit because of the fact that the trucks at that time of morning, as we know, the trucks are quite loud. So when they're operating and waking people up, disturbing people, we don't want to disturb people. We need to get our job done. Of course, majority of the guys like to do the work in the night before the sun comes up, or early morning, I should say. Because of the temperature, of course, it's very hot, very tough job. So we appreciate that, but at the same time, we have to make sure we're also looking out for the public and not disturbing, or trying not to disturb as least as possible.
Okay. I believe we have one final call, opportunity to take one call. Okay, call is not there. We've got a question on WhatsApp with respect to the caller. I'll try to share it as much as possible. This caller is sharing that on the BRAC, there are two garbage trucks. One is not being utilized. Should that truck, is it being utilized, or should it be sort of shared back here? You guys tell us. I mean, you would know. Is there two trucks on the BRAC?
Yes, it's like I've said. As far as I'm aware, there's two trucks on the BRAC. I know there's some changes happening right now. The acting director has made some changes, and we will be bringing two of those vehicles back to the islands. One of them is in need of major repair, which is it's better to bring it back here and fix it here than to try and fix it over there, from what I've been told. So we're going to be setting up a vehicle to service the BRAC, and we're going to actually bring back two of the vehicles from the BRAC back here to do a complete overhauls and actually put them in the system here, which will actually help us. But it will not affect the Cayman BRAC at all, because as you know, Cayman BRAC has a lot less population. Mm-hmm. We actually need the vehicles here because it'll help us with our scheduling, getting the routes completed, and we need more vehicles here rather than the BRAC. The BRAC is actually pretty good, and that's the plan going forward.
When would we expect that? Then it's the follow-up for that person's comment.
I think it's within the next 2 weeks, Mr. Dilbert. Right?
Yeah, DVS is working on that right now.
Yeah, they're working on that right as we speak. So I figure within the next 2 weeks or so, we should have the trucks on the island.
And one of the reasons for that also is the trucks in the sister islands are larger trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What we'll be sending there is a smaller capacity, and we need a larger capacity here.
Correct. Okay. So 2 weeks to get them here, and then thereafter another 2 weeks to get them back in the system, working operational.
I mean, that's hard to say. Depending on what the DVES sorts out with the vehicles, but I don't think they should take that long to do the repairs. I would say within a week after they arrive here, they should be in operation.
And both need work.
Both need work. I haven't seen the trucks myself, but from what I've been told, yes, both of them. One is in worse shape than the other one, but both of them need some work.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Can we share one final email?
Sure.
So the one that talked about the public health inspectors, so there'll be some more enforcement of that. Okay. And then this one, sorry, I'll come back up. This one says the garbage collectors sometimes take the bins, but they don't always put them back neatly into the storage areas. They just put them down, and sometimes this results in the bins getting destroyed and the covers go missing. I think we heard the caller earlier reference. Similar. So this WhatsApp came through as well.
Yeah, we have had. It's actually decreasing now with some of the changes we have been making, but we do have that situation. Okay. Whenever that happens, we have to, if they can see the individual. What I've seen recently, whoever had security cameras, for example, shows proof of who did it. Mm-hmm. Right. One of the things I'm thinking that we may force them to curb that attitude, because they're not allowed. If there's an issue with the bin or the garbage, we provide them with stickers, and the stickers would actually identify what the problems are. Once they use them, then the residents can correct. Mm-hmm. But if they utilize their own thinking and throw the bins away, I foresee that in the future, the department will actually have them, the worker, pay for it. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll curb that idea.
All right. Now, Prosper Stacey, we'll start with you. We'll, give you the first one. In closing, what do you want us as the public to be able to do to assist it? And then obviously, Mr. Bothwell, you'll take the lead if you so choose, and what you'll do to make sure that we have a sanitary collection.
Okay, so what we request of the public is that you try as best as possible to properly handle your waste by utilizing some of the tips that we had shared earlier. So ensure that your garbage is placed in a proper container and that you have enclosures for your garbage. Also try to separate waste as best as possible. And in the event that you have any concerns about non-collection or any queries as it relates to your garbage, then feel free to contact us. You may call us at our Grand Cayman office at 949-6696 or at our Cayman Brac office, which is responsible for both Cayman Brac and Little Cayman at 948-2321. Or you can send us an email via DEH customer service at gov.ky. Or you can visit our Facebook or Instagram pages at DEH Cayman Islands. So just contact us and we'll see how best we can assist you.
Thanks, Ross. Mr. Warfield, sir.
Yeah, thanks. We appreciate being here on the air, and we're trying to focus in the next few weeks to really push a PR and get the word out there about how we would appreciate the public assisting the collectors and the drivers out in the field. We all understand they have a very difficult job. It's a dirty job, so to speak. It's and anything you can do to help the collectors by the way you're putting your garbage out there and storing it, it actually helps them speed up their route so that they can actually complete it in the time that they have to work. And it's also benefiting themselves, the owner, because if you do what you're supposed to do, I'm pretty sure the collectors would appreciate it and make sure that your bin is put back in place. And the customer service, we're focusing on that. We've had many meetings recently. We're providing a service to the public. We want to make sure that we're providing the best service possible in the time that we are allowed. We can't obviously spend all day putting your bin back, tucking in nice and neat and stuff. We have a lot of garbage to collect, but of course we are pushing and telling the guys that they have to make sure and treat this job as this. We're providing a service. It's a customer service, and we're working on that. And you're going to see some changes very shortly.
I would like to take this opportunity also to thank you guys for allowing us to come here and try to remind the public that this is a very small island that we live on, right? And recycling is utmost important.
Yep.
We have to start recycling a lot more often. That will reduce the amount of garbage that's going to be collected. You can also make sure that you know the sites that you can recycle, carry recyclables to. All the Foster Food Fairs, supermarkets, Hurley's and Kirk's, they all have the depots there. You can carry your plastics, which is number 1 and number 2, right? You got glass you can carry there. You can carry ceramics, cardboard, aluminum, and tin, right? Just those few items. If everyone puts them into recyclables, then you will have less garbage to collect.
Yeah, try it, man. It actually works.
Yep.
Change your purchasing habits. That even works too.
Sure. Yes.
All right. Thank you all very much. And please, come on again. Bring the big cheeses with it, and I get the crackers, and we can do some stuff.
Thank you.
All right. To our listeners, thank you for joining us. Come back tomorrow for more talk today, right after the midday news and midday meditation. And remember, we're YouTubing, miss? Yeah, man. Then you can always listen to us live there. So until tomorrow, be blessed.
Keep my ground so clean.
The heart and soul of the Cayman people. Thank you for keeping the culture alive.
Let's spread the news every day. From East End to Georgetown, down into West Bay.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands.
After all